Walmart, Family Dollar, Macy's. These aren't just stores, they're memories. But in 2025, they're closing faster than ever, and it's not just bad news for shoppers. Stick around, because what's happening could change how everyday Americans live forever. Hey everyone, I've been digging deep into the latest reports, closures, and first-hand stories from across the US, and what I found is seriously shocking. In this video, I'm breaking down the 15 iconic American stores that are vanishing, some quietly, some tragically, and why their collapse affects all of us. Jobs, access to essentials, even our sense of normalcy. You'll see how rising costs, inflation, and corporate decisions are hitting real people on Main Street. So if you've noticed shortages, price hikes, or your local store shutting down, comment below and tell me your story. This isn't just about shopping, it's about survival. If you grew up in the US, chances are you have a memory tied to one of these stores. Maybe it was the weekly trip to Walmart with your parents, or grabbing a candy bar and a soda at Family Dollar after school. These weren't just places to shop. They were part of daily life. But now, those familiar aisles are disappearing. Walmart, once the giant that seemed unstoppable, is quietly closing stores across the country. No big announcements, no flashy headlines, just empty parking lots and for-lease signs. In places like Arkansas and Oregon, families who used to walk 5 minutes for groceries now take 2 buses just to buy milk. For many, this isn't just inconvenient, it's a way of life slipping away. Family Dollar was another staple, especially for those on a tight budget. $1 could get you toilet paper, noodles, maybe even a small treat. But hygiene issues, expired products, and mice sightings turned some stores into jokes. Family horror, some called it. Behind the laughs, though, real people lost their only option for basic goods. Then there's Macy's, the department store that meant more than just clothes. It was where we bought our first prom dress, holiday gifts, and even job interview suits. Now, hundreds of locations are closing. Older workers, many of whom never had another job, are losing everything. And for shoppers, it feels like tradition is fading. These stores weren't just businesses. They were memories. They were routines. And now, as they vanish, communities are left wondering what happens next. You've probably noticed it. That store you used to stop by every week is suddenly gone. Maybe it was Family Dollar for a quick snack, or Macy's for a holiday deal. Or maybe it was Big Lots, where you could always find something useful for less. These aren't just random closings, they're part of a bigger trend. Stores across America are closing fast. Not just small shops, but big names that have been around for decades. Walmart, Walgreens, Party City, Foot Locker. All of them are shutting down locations or downsizing. And it's not just about business. It's hitting real people in real ways. Why is this happening? There are a few reasons. First, inflation has made everything more expensive. Rent, wages, even the products on the shelves cost more than before. At the same time, shoppers are spending smarter, and sometimes not at all. People don't have as much money to spend, so they're buying less or going for cheaper options. Then there's Amazon and other online stores. Why drive to a mall when you can order from your couch and get it delivered tomorrow? This shift has hurt stores that rely on foot traffic, especially in shopping malls. Foot Locker and Rue 21, once hotspots for teens and sneaker lovers, are closing fast because fewer people are showing up. But it's not just young shoppers who are affected. Elderly Americans are also feeling the pain. With Walgreens and Rite Aid closing pharmacies, many seniors are now driving miles just to pick up basic meds. For those who don't use apps or online services, these closures make life harder. Low-income communities are hit the hardest. When Family Dollar shuts down, it often leaves behind neighborhoods with no affordable places to buy food or supplies. Same with Kroger and Walmart in rural areas. Suddenly, simple things like milk, medicine, or diapers become a challenge. And what about jobs? Every time a store closes, hundreds of workers lose their jobs. Many of them have worked at these stores for years. Now they're left with little notice and even fewer options. So next time you see a "for lease" sign where your local store used to be, remember, it's not just a building going dark. It's a piece of everyday life disappearing. Remember when going to the mall felt like a real event? You'd walk past the food court, make a stop at Foot Locker or Rue 21, and end the day at Macy's or J.C. Penney. Those department stores weren't just places to shop. They were part of growing up. But now, many of those big-name anchors are gone or barely holding on. Macy's used to be the go-to spot for everything from back-to-school shopping to holiday gifts. It was where families bought first prom dresses, graduation suits, and Christmas presents. But in 2025, Macy's is closing more stores than ever. They've already shut down hundreds across the U.S., leaving behind empty storefronts and broken routines. Why? People don't shop the way they used to. Online deals are cheaper, faster, and easier. And with fewer shoppers walking into malls, department stores like Macy's can't keep up. Then there's J.C. Penney, once a staple for middle-class families who wanted to look good without spending too much. From pajamas to ties, J.C. Penney had it all. But today, the stores are quiet. Some have closed completely, others are just shadows of what they used to be. The brand tried to bounce back after bankruptcy in 2020, but by 2025, it's clear that the old model doesn't work anymore. Shoppers have moved on to fast fashion or online giants like Amazon. Foot Locker also used to be a must-stop for sneaker lovers. If you were lucky enough to grab a limited drop, you were basically a celebrity for the week. But now, Foot Locker is closing stores, especially in malls. They're focusing more on flagship locations and online sales. But for fans, something's missing. That excitement of trying on shoes in person, of seeing the newest Jordans on display, it's fading. Route 21 was another favorite among teens and young adults. Neon clothes, trendy accessories, and prices that didn't break the bank made it a hotspot. But as teen fashion moves online and fast fashion brands take over, Rue 21 is struggling. Stores are closing, employees are losing jobs, and for a lot of people, it feels like youth culture itself is changing. Department stores built their names on experience, walking through aisles, touching fabrics, trying things on. But in a world where everything is a click away, that magic is disappearing. And with each store closure, we're not just losing a place to shop, we're losing a piece of how we used to live. Imagine having to walk miles just to buy a gallon of milk. Sounds extreme, right? But for many Americans, that's exactly what life looks like now. Grocery stores are closing at an alarming rate, and it's not just a problem for shoppers. It's a crisis for entire communities. Kroger, one of the biggest names in grocery shopping, has been shutting down stores across the country. These aren't just random locations. They're often in low-income neighborhoods where people already struggle to make ends meet. When a Kroger store leaves, it doesn't just take shelves and cashiers with it. It takes access to fresh food, medicine, and everyday essentials. And there's nothing left behind but empty parking lots and for lease signs. Walmart and Family Dollar used to fill in some of the gaps, especially in smaller towns. But even those chains are pulling back. Walmart has closed dozens of stores in places like Arkansas, Oregon, and New Mexico. For families who used to walk or bike to the store, this means longer trips, more time, and more money spent on transportation. All just to get basic groceries. Family Dollar was another go-to spot for people living on a tight budget. $1 could get you toilet paper, noodles, maybe even a candy bar. But now, over 600 Family Dollar locations have shut down since 2024. And for many poor and minority communities, that meant losing their only nearby option for daily needs. No other supermarkets, no convenience stores, just nothing. Older adults are also feeling the hit. Many don't use apps or online services, so when their local Kroger or Walgreens closes, they're stuck. They can't just order groceries online or pick up meds with a click. They rely on walking into a store, seeing what's available, and getting help from staff they've known for years. Now that kind of service is disappearing fast. And let's not forget the workers. Every time a grocery store shuts down, hundreds of employees lose their jobs. Cashiers, stockers, delivery drivers, these are real people, many of whom have worked at these stores for years. Losing a job isn't just about income. It's about losing stability, routine, and community. The ripple effect keeps going. Parents struggle to find baby diapers. Seniors can't get their medications easily. Whole neighborhoods are left without a place to shop nearby. This isn't just about retail. It's about access, fairness, and survival. There was a time when you could walk into a pharmacy, grab some medicine, and maybe even chat with the pharmacist about your symptoms. For millions of Americans, Walgreens and Rite Aid weren't just places to fill prescriptions. They were neighborhood fixtures, part of daily life. But in 2025, that's changing fast. Pharmacy chains are closing at an alarming rate. Rite Aid, once a trusted name on street corners across the U.S., filed for bankruptcy. Hundreds of stores have shut down, leaving behind empty counters and confused customers. Walgreens is also pulling back, closing locations in cities and small towns alike. And for many people, especially the elderly, the sick, and those who don't use online services, this isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Imagine needing a simple painkiller like Tylenol and finding your local pharmacy gone. That's exactly what's happening. One senior from Pennsylvania shared, "I had a headache and went to my usual Rite Aid. It was closed. Now I drive 25 minutes just to buy something I used to get in 5. This isn't an isolated story. It's happening all over the country. Behind the scenes, the reasons are clear but painful. Rising costs, outdated systems, and fierce competition from CVS and big box retailers like Walmart are hitting smaller pharmacy chains hard. Online pharmacies like Amazon Pharmacy are also taking a bigger share of the market. The result? Fewer places to go, longer lines where they still exist, and more stress for people who just need basic care. And then there's the human cost. Thousands of pharmacists, technicians, and store workers have lost their jobs. Many had worked in these stores for years, serving the same customers week after week. Now they're looking for new work in a job market that doesn't always value experience over automation. For older adults, especially those living alone or on fixed incomes, losing a nearby pharmacy can feel like losing a lifeline. They rely on face-to-face service. They need help reading labels, checking prices, and understanding dosages. When that support disappears, so does a sense of security. Even more concerning is the impact on low-income communities. In many neighborhoods, these pharmacies were often the only place to access basic health supplies. Without them, people are forced to travel further, wait longer, or skip care altogether. This isn't just about business decisions or market trends. It's about real people trying to manage their health in a world that's moving faster than ever. And as more pharmacies vanish, the question becomes harder to ignore. Who will take care of us when our local drugstore is gone? Remember when getting new clothes felt like a big deal? When you'd walk into Foot Locker, Rue 21, or Forever 21 and feel the rush of picking out something fresh. These stores weren't just places to shop. They were part of growing up. But now, many of them are gone or barely holding on. And the reason is not what you might expect. Fast fashion and online shopping have changed everything. Brands like H&M, Zara, and Shein offer trendy clothes at super low prices. And you don't even have to leave your house to get them. That convenience has made old-school retailers struggle. Stores that used to be packed with teens and young adults are now empty, with for lease signs in the windows. Foot Locker was once the go-to spot for sneaker lovers. People would line up for hours to grab limited edition Jordans. It wasn't just about shoes. It was about culture, identity, and pride. But in 2025, Foot Locker is closing hundreds of stores, especially in malls. They're focusing more on online sales and big-name flagship locations. For fans, it feels like something special is slipping away. Rue 21 was another favorite among teens. Neon clothes, cheap accessories, and music playing in the background made it feel like your own personal runway. But as teen shopping moves online and fast fashion brands take over, Rue 21 is disappearing. Employees are losing jobs, and shoppers are losing a place where they could find fun, affordable styles without pressure. Forever 21 followed a similar path. Once known for its bright stores and even brighter price tags, it became a staple for young shoppers who wanted to look good without breaking the bank. But even Forever 21 couldn't keep up with the speed of digital fashion trends. The brand filed for bankruptcy twice and closed dozens of stores across the U.S. What's left are clearance racks and fading memories. The shift isn't just about style, it's about how we live. Young people today don't always shop the way past generations did. They rent clothes, buy secondhand, or click add to cart without ever touching the fabric. That change has hit traditional retail hard, and while shoppers may save money, they also lose something harder to measure: connection, experience, and the joy of discovery. And let's not forget the workers. Many of them have worked at these stores for years. They knew their customers by name, gave advice on outfits, and built friendships behind the register. Now they're left searching for new jobs in a market that's moving faster than ever. These stores didn't just sell clothes, they sold moments. First dates, school dances, summer parties, all marked by what you wore. And now, as they vanish one by one, it feels like a piece of youth itself is disappearing.